name is Salsabilla Fahira Aidina, and I'm from Universitas Negeri Jakarta, majoring in Educational of Office Administration 2017. And right now, I want to present about my internship program at Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai 2020. So, the science of discipline and technology is growing rapidly right now. This development is characterized by the industry of revolutions. And right now, the world has entered the revolutions of 4.0. And what is exactly the revolutions of 4.0 is? So the revolution of 4.0 is characterized by using an artificial intelligence, for example, like robotics and also like Internet of Things. Although the technology is become increasingly sophisticated, it still wouldn't be work without the human resources taking part of it. So the human resources can be work as the creator and also for the operating the technology. So considering all the activities in the actual field work is already implemented, the computerized and also paperless system, it is a challenge for human resources itself to improve their understand and solve the existing problem, to improve their skills and the ability in the actual field work. So this internship program can be a big opportunity for students and especially for the practitioners themselves to train themselves in developing knowledge and prepare themselves in the actual field time and place. So the practitioner did the internship program at Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai Pusat located in East Jakarta, Rawamangun. And it started on January 27th until March 13, 2020. And the reason why the practitioner chose Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai as the place to do internship is first because the practitioner wanted to know more about the regulations of customs and excise in the actual field, and especially for the facilities programs. And second is it only took 10 minutes from my house to go to Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai. Know more about Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai. So, Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai is a government agency that serves a community in the field of customs and excise. So, there are several directorate in Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai. For example, like the Directorate of Customs. And what is exactly the Directorate of Customs is? So, Directorate of Customs has the main task in organizing the formulations and also the implementations of policy in the field of supervisions, law enforcement, service, and organizations of state exceptions in the customs. So even the Directorate of Customs had several subdirectorate, for example, like Subdirectorate of Exemptions Facilities, the place where the practitioner did the internship program. Even though the Subdirectorate of Exemption Facilities has the main program in providing and giving exemptions on the imported duty of their goods, and Subdirectorate of Exemption Facilities had several tasks and functions. For example, like this. The implementing program preparations on the formulations policy. The second is sterilizations and technical guidance, and the last is the implementations in the field of exemptions. And mostly the Subdirectorate of Exemption Facilities giving and providing the exemptions on goods, and what is the most likely goods that had been given the exemptions by the Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai. First is the foreign goods country and goods for international organizations and also for the public worship purposes. For example, like giving the exemptions in the imported stuffs for the mosques and also for the church. And the second is the needs of museums, zoos, and open public and other open public areas. For example, like giving the exemptions on imported foods for Taman Safari. And the third is the goods and materials for industrial development. Practitioner did in internship program at Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai are: first is inputting a receipt letter of Subdirectorate Exemptions Facilities. In Subdirectorate Exemption Facilities, they got the receipt letter from the service user. So what is the receipt letter is all about? So the receive letter of Subdirectorat Exemption Facilities is an application letter sent by the service user to provide an application letter and asking for exemptions on their imported stuffs and imported duties. For example, like Taman Safari application letter asking for exemption on their imported foods for their animals. After we got the received letters, the practitioner did input all the data on the website called the official website Direktorat Jenderal Bea dan Cukai. But it needs an ID to log in, so one of the employee gave her ID for the practitioner to input and using all the websites. And the second is inputting a service memorandum for the head of exemption facilities. So this service memorandum is a cover letter for the response and approval of the Director of Customs and Facilities made by his subordinates in relation to the application letter of the customs exemptions submitted to Directorate Customs Facilities. Third is inputting data of the import duty exemptions. And mostly we input the decision letter. And what is the decision letter of import duty exemption is? So this decision letter is the final result of approval of exemptions from import duty of the application submitted by the service user to the Directorate of Customs Facilities. So in this case, we use the application Microsoft Access and we call it as the Klep Nomor Dirjen. Always a mistake in one moment. So do the practitioner activities. So during the internship program, the practitioner did find the difficulties and the obstacles during the internship program. So the obstacles and the difficulty the practitioner have faced are: first, no handbooks for the practitioner to learn. Since the practitioner didn't understand and had zero information about the customs and also the access regulation, I think it's very important for the practitioner to learn from the handbooks. So the practitioner can decide which undang-undang or which regulations can be included during the inputting all data, whether for received letters or whether for the service memorandum. And second is no space or room for storing archives. Unfortunately, in Subdirectorat of Exemption Facilities, they didn't have a room or space for storing all the archives. And because of this, all the files that have been recorded will be placed in the archive storage boxes. And this makes all the files isn't properly arranged, and it's quite difficult to find again all the files we need. And the third is the lack division task given to the practitioner. Since almost the work and the task in Subdirectorat of Exemption Facilities requires regulations and undang-undang, so they can be freely giving the task for the practitioner. How the practitioner is coping all the obstacles the practitioner have faced? First, establishing a good communication with the employees. It's really important for the practitioner to have a good communication with employees, with the facilities employees, because if the practitioner didn't understand about these problems or this case, the practitioner can ask for help with the employees. And the second is finding out the relevant legislations. Since all the works and the tasks in the exemption facilities requires regulation, for example, undang-undang for customs and access, so the practitioner did research and finding the regulation related. And the third, assisting the administration field and helping other subdirectorate. And the practitioner wanted to thank Ibu Ponco Dewi for guiding me and also helping me with giving advices during this making of the reports. And also the practitioner wanted to thank all the Directorate of Custom Facilities employees, especially in Subdirectorate of Exemptions and Mining Facilities. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you all have a great time.